Hi guys. So today I just have a book haul for you. I have accumulated a fair amount of books in the past week or so it's kind of exciting. To start off, I will show you my current read. Usually I do that, but I will say this time it's more of a about to read. I'm not actually reading anything currently. But I picked this book up last week, and I'm sure you'll recognize it. It's kind of all over social media at the moment, but it is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive version. Very exciting. I've read Funny Story by Emily Henry, which was the novel she wrote before this, and I really liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars or 4.5. And then I did read Beach Read, which I think is her first adult novel, and I gave it, I think, 3 stars. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't anything too special in my opinion. Then I actually did not finish Book Lovers, which is the one with the light blue cover. I tried to read that book and I just could not for the life of me get into it. I think that's the one about a book editor who goes to a small town, which sounds interesting. I love things about books, so I feel like I should have liked that one, but I just absolutely didn't for some reason. So I'm a little scared because I feel like I never know what I'm gonna get with this author, but I really loved Funny Story a lot. And since that was her previous work, I'm hoping we're just moving in that direction. I have heard that this book is more of a literary novel than a romance novel. Sorry, I don't know why my brain just stalled there, but and I'm kind of excited for that. I prefer when romance is the side story to a different genre, so I'm excited that this is more literary fiction bent. That gives me hope that I'll probably enjoy this one. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. So I told my sister that I thought that the characters on this cover look like Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. Tell me if you agree or disagree. She said, no way. You're crazy. Those are just 2 generic people. And I was like, well, maybe it's just me. But to me, that looks like Daisy Ridley, and that looks like Adam Driver. So tell me if I'm the crazy one or if she is. I'd love to know. But yeah, I think, short synopsis, this is about 2 writers who get the chance to tell this famous figure's memoir, but they're each given different pieces of her life, and whichever memoir she ends up liking better is the one that will get published. I don't really know how the logistics of that work, but that's the premise that I remember reading. So again, it sounds like something I should like, but I've learned to tread cautiously, so we'll see. But I feel like since it's spring and we're kind of getting into the summer season, I kind of am in the mood for a more contemporary book, so I'll see if this one works, if this one fits my fancy. It also has these really pretty end papers. I'm not used to the colorful designs that come with contemporary work, so it's always kind of a nice change every once in a while, you know. Okay, to get into the rest of the haul, I will say the rest of these books are all predictably fantasy books, so that was your one contemporary for today. But the next book I picked up is The Gentleman and His Vowsmith by Rebecca Ide. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's blurbed by Micah Ducey, who wrote another book that I bought was it late last year or earlier this year, that I'm also really excited for. Both of them are fantasies and both of them feature queer characters, so I also really love this cover. So pretty. It came in paperback, so this is the one paperback you'll get for today. It's just so stunning. I will say I don't know much about this book except for that it's fantasy and that it's queer, and I don't really want to know more, so you won't really be getting a synopsis from me about this one. I don't know why, like some books I don't mind knowing the premise, and others I just don't want to know anything, so. But you're welcome to look it up on Goodreads. The Gentleman and His Vow Smith. I think this is also like a historical fantasy, which is even better. Historical fantasy is my favorite niche. I've said it many times before, but give me a historical fantasy any day and I will be happy. Okay, I will tell you this little brief thing at the bottom. It says it's a sparkling Regency era set fantasy rife with arcane magic, deadly conspiracies, and roguish lords. So, yeah, I'm excited to read this. I've never heard of this author before, so that's always kind of exciting to read from someone you've never read before. Okay, and moving on to the next book. This one I'm really excited for. It's The Floating World by Axio. If you can see that cover is absolutely stunning. And you know what, even this lighting is just like not doing it justice. If I were you, I'd go look at them up online, because actually the cover for the sequel to this is already out. I don't know if this is a duology or if it will be longer, but I know that the second book in this series is already going to be coming out later this year. So we're getting the first and second book in the same year, so that's really exciting. Axio is the author of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, which I also own. That one is like a fantasy inspired by Korean mythology. And I've heard really good things about it, so I haven't read it yet, but this duology just sounds, or the series just sounds so good. The blurb at the top says, a grand adventure that perfectly balances romance and humor set in a uniquely magical world. The Floating World. The Floating World. I'm trying to remember the title of the sequel. I think it's The Demon and the Light or something like that. Is this young adult? Okay, so I did just read the back and it is a duology. I can't tell if it's young adult or adult, but I will say that this book was $20. And if young adult teen me was having to buy all her YA books for $20, she would be upset. So I'm sorry to all of you YA readers out there, because that's just kind of insane. Okay, on to the next book. This was the Fairy Loot pick for April. I think the April Fairy Loot book. So if you don't want to be spoiled, look away. This is your warning. But here it is. It's called This Monster of Mine. I think this book is so pretty, and I actually like this cover more than the original cover. On the back it says wisdom and wrath with an arrow through the heart. Here are these sprayed pages, which are really pretty. It's like a wobbly dagger. The inside says, "She knows the taste of death. He'll stoke her hunger for it." So I wonder if this is romantasy. Sure seems like it. But let's see. So yeah, this I think is the original cover. She's also really pretty, don't get me wrong. Here's the author. You know what, maybe I can't pick which one's better. Both covers are really pretty. But even more stunning is this art that's on the naked hardcover. I don't know who she is, but she's gorgeous. For some reason, elements of this book give me like Six of Crows vibes. I don't know why. I think it's just like, honestly, the art style and like the clothing. Here's like a cityscape on the back. Really, really pretty. And then even more, we have the in-paper art. Oh, I think like in the letter, the author mentioned like she would love Ben Barnes to play like the main guy. That's probably why it gave me Six of Crow vibes. Really, really pretty book. I'm trying to remember what it's about. It doesn't actually even say on the book like what the synopsis is. So let's see what my memory can conjure up. I think it's about a like lawyer, like a fantasy lawyer in this world who is forced to defend like one of these lords that's like competing for power. And I think she has plans to like overthrow him, but then they both want to overthrow the king, so they like work together. That could be wrong. That's just what I'm pulling from my wobbly memory. I do remember it sounded really good. So, as always, Goodreads or whatever book platform you use should have a synopsis. But yeah, this is this monster of mine. Okay, so that's that book. We have 2 more special editions and then a set that I got from a book box. So let's just keep moving on. And this I'm really excited for. I'll show you this one first. So this is The Raven Scholar. I'm sure you've seen this book around, by Antonia Hodgson. And this is the Waterstones exclusive edition. She's very thick. she's a big book. And there's a 1 right here, so you know that it's going to be a series, which is really exciting. There's blurbs from Alex E. Haro and Tasha Suri, which is always very exciting. They're both of those authors. And then here are these sprayed pages. They just are purple with feathers on them. And on the back it says, sorry, pretty dusty. It says, "Win the throne, destroy an empire. Either way, it begins with murder." Oh my gosh, it has a quote from Anne Leckie that says, "A masterclass." And also Claire North and C.L. Clark and Georgia Summers. Dusty, sorry. Yeah, so this is the Waterstones exclusive edition. I've heard about this book for months now. Really, really excited to read this. I believe it's like a fantasy academic setting. And I believe there's different like quadrants that you're put into that have different specialties of magic. I believe they have animal names. I've seen like a little bit about this book online, but I've been, in true me fashion, avoiding most things so that I don't know anything going in. So yeah, this is an adult fantasy. Very excited to read this. And in a shocking turn of events, I did get the Illumicrate edition. This came in April's box, and I love this cover too. It's so pretty. I love that they stuck with like the purple theme. Sorry if there were some lighting changes. I had someone call me and I had to take care of that. So to continue where I left off, this is the Illumicrate edition of the Raven Scholar. It also has this one right here. This is such a hefty book. It has these beautiful sprayed edges. It looks like it's of ravens in like a stained glass window. And funny enough, this actually isn't even the last copy I'll get of this book. I have another copy coming in the mail, so hopefully I like it. I do need to get to it soon. It is really chunky, which is always scary, but let me show you what's under the dust jacket. Ooh. So here is the book without the dust jacket. It's so stunning. It has a bunch of animals on it. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right. So there's a tiger, there's this like hound. I think there's a dog, a dragon, a monkey, a bear, a fish, and like a cow or an oxen. And then some like, I don't know if these are cats or wolves, maybe coyotes. Anyways, a lot of cool creatures on it. Of course, a raven. And it even has the title and the author's name on the spine. I feel like if you can get 2 lines of text on a spine, you know it's a pretty hefty book. Here's the in-paper art. Really stunning. Oh, look at that. Also, I apologize if the lighting changed. While I was briefly taking care of like a phone call, it got dark. So here are the other in-papers. So pretty. And it's also signed. Such a stunning edition. I really like when they have art on the hardcover like this. Like where it wraps around the whole book. Here is the author. And they normally write historical crime thrillers. Yeah, historical crime novels. So I think that's really interesting to go from writing that to epic fantasy. So I'm really hoping I like this one. Okay, and then last up, I just have a special edition set that I got from Illumicrate. Really excited about these. Here's what they look like on the spines, or the pages. And then here is what the set looks like here. This is the Song of the Lioness series by Tamora Pierce. And these are the Illumicrate special editions. They're so, so pretty. I believe they're young adult. I have only read one series by Tamora Pierce. I read the Immortals Quartet, and it's one of my very favorite series of all time. It's in my top 10. I absolutely love that series. I read it in a time when I really needed to be comforted, and I was really stressed out at school. I read it in college, and it just healed something in me. It's like a classic early 2000s fantasy. It just has a special feeling to it. And this is the first series in that world. So Tamora Pierce built a whole world called Tortall. And so she just has different stories and series set in that world. And I believe this is the first one. So I have not read any of the Alanna books yet, but I know this is a very special series to a lot of people. And I loved the Immortals Quartet so much. That one follows Dane, and she has a special connection to animals. I love that series so much, so I'm hoping I'll love this original series just as much. And honestly, I'm really hoping that Illumicrate does a continuation of this and does a special edition set for the Immortals Quartet. Please, I need that so badly. Please, Illumicrate, if you're out there, if I can influence your brain at all, please continue the series and do the Immortals Quartet. But anyways, I really love this art. It's really stunning. We follow Alanna, who wants to be a knight, but because of gender norms, is not allowed to be, so she disguises herself as a boy and becomes a knight. Look at this beautiful art on the back. So this is what the naked book looks like. It's just a landscape. I love the bits of foiling you can see on there. And again, it's a wraparound cover. This reminds me, landscape-wise, of Arizona or something. Really pretty. Or New Mexico. Also the end paper art is also really stunning. There's Alanna and her horse. So cute. I'm just so excited to read these books. And it's nice because they're not that long either. So I feel like I could get through them pretty quickly. Let's see what the font looks like. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So this was the first book, Alanna, the First Adventure. And then the second book is... these are out of order. The second book is In the Hand of the Goddess. Here are the sprayed edges. Here's the back. Oh my gosh, look at that cool wolf. Here is the naked cover for this second book. Again, it has those bits of foil on the front, which is really cool. I just really love the art design on whoever did this cover art. See the in papers. The horse. Okay, so then the third book is The Woman Who Rides Like a Man. Here are the sprayed papers, sprayed edges, and the back. I love all the different horses. I am definitely a horse girl, so. So here is the cover for this third book. I love the stars. And then the end papers. Looks like she's grown up a little bit here in this one. I believe these are the same, but I'll show you anyways. And now lastly is the fourth book in the series. It's called Lioness Rampant. I love the snowy background on this one. It's so different from the other covers and just very stark looking. This is the fourth book in the series. Here are the sprayed pages. It's really pretty blue. And then here is the cover, the naked cover for that book. It's a castle in the snow. Here are the end papers. Yeah, she looks like she's a lot older here. So yeah, that was this last book. So yeah, here's half of the books that I showed in this haul today. And here are the other half. I could not pick them all up at the same time or I would probably crumble. My arms are twigs. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you see any books here that you've read or that you're looking forward to reading, please let me know. I'd love to hear in the comments. If you feel like seeing more from me, you can subscribe or hit like, but don't feel like you have to. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day, night, wherever you are.